Hello, I'll be reading Genesis chapter 3 through 10 today. And the serpent was more crafty than any beast of the field, which Yahweh Elohim had made. And he said to the woman, Is it true that Elohim has said, Do not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, We are to eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the tree which is in the midst of the garden Elohim has said, Do not eat of it, nor touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said to the woman, You shall certainly not die. And Elohim knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes shall be open, and you shall be like Elohim, knowing good and evil. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise. And she took of its fruit and ate. And she also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made loin coverings for themselves. And they heard the sound of Yahweh Elohim walking in the garden, in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahweh Elohim among the trees of the garden. And Yahweh Elohim called unto Adam, and said to him, Where are you? And he said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked. So I hid myself. And he said, Who made you know that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, that you should not eat? And the man said, The woman whom you gave me to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate. And Yahweh Elohim said to the woman, What is this you have done? And the woman said, The serpent deceived me, and I ate. And Yahweh Elohim said to the serpent, Because you have done this, you are cursed more than all livestock, and more than every beast of the field. On your abdomen you are to go, and eat dust all the days of your life. And I put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. He shall crush your head, and you shall crush his heel. To the woman he said, I greatly increase your sorrow, and your conception. Bring forth children in pain, and your desire is for your husband, and he rules over you. And to the man he said, Because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, Do not eat of it. Cursed is the ground because of you. In toil you are to eat of it all the days of your life. And it shall bring forth thorns and thistles for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you are to eat bread until you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken, for dust you are, and to dust you return. And the man called his wife's name Hawa, because she became the mother of all living. And Yahweh Elohim made coats of skin for the man and his wife, and dressed them. And Yahweh Elohim said, See, the man has become like one of us, to know good and evil. And now lest he put out his hand, and take also of the tree of high, and eat and live forever. So Yahweh Elohim sent him out of the garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken. And he drove the man out, and he placed cherubim at the east of the garden of Eden, and a flaming sword which turned every way to guard the way to the tree of high. And Adam knew Hawa his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have gained a man from Yahweh. And again she gave birth to his brother Habal. And Habal became a keeper of sheep, but Cain became a tiller of the ground. And it came to be in the course of time that Cain brought forth an offering of the fruit of the ground to Yahweh. And Habal also brought forth of the firstborn of his flock of their fat. And Yahweh looked to Habal and his offering, but he did not look to Cain and his offering. And Cain was very wroth, and his face fell. And Yahweh said to Cain, Why are you wroth, and why is your face fallen? If you do well, is there not acceptance? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. And its desire is for you, but you should master it. And Cain told Habal his brother, Come, let us go into the field. And it came to be, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Habal his brother, and killed him. And Yahweh said to Cain, Where is Habal your brother? And he said, I do not know. Am I my brother's guard? And he said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out from the ground. And now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. If you till the ground, it shall no longer yield its strength to you. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth. And Cain said to Yahweh, My wickedness is too great to bear. See, you have driven me out from the face of the ground today, and I am hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth, and it shall be that anyone who finds me kills me. And Yahweh said to him, Well, if anyone kills Cain, vengeance is taken on him sevenfold. And Yahweh placed a sign for Cain, lest anyone find him, kills him. So Cain went out of the presence of Yahweh and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Hanok. And he built a city, and he called the name of the city after the name of his son, Hanok. And Hanok was born Irad. And Irad brought forth Mahaziel, and Mahaziel brought forth Methuselah, and Methuselah brought forth Lamech. And Lamech took for himself 2 wives. The name of one was Ada, and the name of the second was Silla. And Ada bore Yabal. He was the father of those who dwell in tents with livestock, and his brother's name was Yubal. He was the father of those who play the lyre and the flute. As for Silla, she also bore Tubal-Cain, a smith of all kinds of tools in the bronze and iron, and the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said to his wives Ada and Silla, Hear my voice, wives of Lamech. Listen to my words. For I have killed a man for wounding me, even a young man for hurting me. For Cain is avenged sevenfold, and Lamech 77fold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son, and called his name Sheth. For Elohim has appointed me another seed instead of Habal, because Cain had slain him. And Sheth, to him also a son was born, and he called his name Enosh. Then it was begun to call the name of Yahweh. This is the book of genealogy of Adam in the day that Elohim created man. He made him in the likeness of Elohim, male and female. He created them. He baraked them and called their name Adam in the day they were created. And Adam lived 130 years and brought forth a son in his own likeness after his image and called his name Sheth. And after he brought forth Sheth, the days of Adam were 800 years. And he brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Sheth lived 105 years, and he brought forth Enosh. And after he brought forth Enosh, Sheth lived 877 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Sheth were 912 years, and he died. And Enosh lived 90 years, and brought forth Kenan. And after he brought forth Kenan, Enosh lived 815 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. And Kenan lived 70 years, and brought forth Mahalalel. And after he brought forth Mahalalel, Cain lived 840 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 65 years, and brought forth Yared. And after he brought forth Yared, Mahalalel lived 830 years, and he brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Yared lived 162 years, and he brought forth Hanok. And after he brought forth Hanok, Yared lived 800 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Yared were 962 years, and he died. And Hanok lived 65 years, and brought forth Methuselah. And after he brought forth Methuselah, Hanok walked with Elohim 300 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Hanok were 365 years. And Hanok walked with Elohim. Then he was no more, for Elohim took him. And Methuselah lived 187 years, and brought forth Lamech. And after he brought forth Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years, and he brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 182 years, and brought forth a son, and he called his name Noah, saying, This one comforts us concerning our work and the toil of our hands, because of the ground which Yahweh has cursed. And after he brought forth Noah, Lamech lived 595 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years, and Noah brought forth Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And it came to be, when men began to increase on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, and the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men that they were good, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. And Yahweh said, My Ruah shall not strive with mankind forever in his going astray. He is flesh, and his days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of Elohim came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of the old, the men of name. And Yahweh saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And Yahweh was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he grieved in his heart. And Yahweh said, I am going to wipe off man who I created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping creature, and birds of the Shemayim, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of Yahweh. This is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with Elohim, and Noah brought forth 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the earth was corrupt before Elohim, and the earth was filled with violence. And Elohim looked upon the earth, and saw that it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on earth. And Elohim said to Noah, The end of the flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And see, I am going to destroy them from the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and out with tar. And this is how you are to make it. The length of the ark is 300 amah, its width is 50 amah, and its height 30 amah. Make a window for the ark, and complete it to an amah from above. And put the door of the ark in its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. And see, I myself am bringing floodwaters on the earth to destroy all flesh in which breath of life from under the Shemayim. All that is on the earth is to die. And I shall establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you and your sons and your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And all the living creatures of all the flesh, 2 of each, you are to bring into the ark, to keep them alive with you, a male and a female, of the birds of their kind, and of the cattle of their kind, and of all the creeping creatures of the earth of their kind. 2 of each are to come to you, to keep them alive. As for you, take for all food that is eaten together, gather it for yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. And Noah did according to all that Elohim commanded him, so he did. And Yahweh said to Noah, Come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are a righteous before me in this generation. Of all the clean beasts, take with you 7 pairs, a male and his female, and the beasts that are unclean 2, and a male and his female. And of the birds of the Shemayim, 7 pairs, male and female, to keep offspring alive on the face of the earth. For after 7 more days I am sending rain on the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and shall wipe off from the face of the earth all that stand that I created. And Noah did according to all that Yahweh commanded him. Now Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters were on the earth, and Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives went into the ark because of the waters of the flood. of the clean beast, and of the beasts that are unclean, and of the birds, and of all that creep on the earth. 2 by 2 they went into the ark to Noah, male and female, as Elohim commanded Noah. And it came to be after 7 days that the waters of the flood on the earth were on the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month of the 17th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of the Shemayim were open. And the rain was on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On that same day Noah and Shem and Ham and Japheth and the sons of Noah, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, went into the ark. They and every living creature after its kind, and every beast after its kind, and every creeping creature that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, every bird of its sort. And they went into the ark to Noah, 2 by 2, and all the flesh in which the breath of life. And those going in, male and female of all flesh, went in as Elohim had commanded him, and Yahweh shut him in. And the flood was on the earth 40 days, and the waters increased and lifted up the ark, and it rose up above the earth. And the waters were mighty, and greatly increased on the earth. And the ark moved about on the surface of the waters, and the waters were exceedingly mighty on the earth. And all the high mountains under the Shemayim were covered. The waters became mighty, 15 amah upward. And the mountains were covered, and all flesh that moved on the earth, birds and cattle and beast, and every creeping creature that creeps on the earth, and all mankind. All in whose nostrils was breath of spirit of life, all that was on the dry land died. So he wiped off all that stand, which were on the face of the ground, both man and beast, creeping creature and bird of the Shemayim. And they were wiped off the face of the earth, and only Noah was left, and those with him in the ark, and the waters were mighty on the earth 150 days. And Elohim remembered Noah and all the beasts and all the cattle that were with him in the ark. And Elohim made the wind pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. And the fountains of the deep and the windows of the Shemayim were stopped, and the rain from the Shemayim was withheld. And the waters receded steadily from the earth, and at the end of the 150 days the waters diminished. And in the 7th month, the 17th day of the month, the ark rested on the mountains of Aratat. And the waters decreased steadily until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the 1st day of the month, the tops of the mountains became visible. And it came to be at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent out a raven which kept going out and turning back until the waters had dried up from the earth. And he sent out a dove from him to see if the waters had receded from the face of the ground. But the dove found no resting place for its feet, and returned into the ark to him, for the waters were on the face of all the earth. So he put out his hand and took it and pulled it into the ark to himself. And yet he waited yet another 7 days, and again he sent the dove out from the ark. And the dove came into the evening, and see, a freshly plucked olive leaf was in its mouth. And Noah knew that the waters had receded from the earth. And he waited yet another 7 days, and sent out the dove, which did not return to him again. And it came to be in the 601st year of the 1st month, the 1st day of the month, that the waters were dried up on the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and saw the surface of the ground was dry. And in the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dry. And Elohim spoke to Noah, saying, Go out of the ark, you and your wife, and your sons' wives with you. Bring out with you every living creature of all flesh that is with you, of the birds of the cattle, and all the creeping creatures that creep on the earth, and let them teem on the earth, and bear and increase on the earth. So Noah went out, and his sons and his wife, and his sons' wives with them. And every beast, every creeping creature, and every bird, whatever creeps on the earth, according to its kinds, went out to the ark. And Noah built an altar to Yahweh, and took of every clean beast and every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings to the altar. And Yahweh smelled a soothing fragrance, and Yahweh said in his heart, Never again shall I curse the ground because of man, although the inclination of man's heart is evil from his youth, and never again smite all life, as I have done. As long as the earth remains seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease. And Elohim brought Noah and his sons, and said to them, Bear fruit and increase, and fill the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you is on every beast on the earth, on every bird of the Shemayim, and all that creeps on the ground. On all the fish of the sea into your hand they have been given. Every moving creature that lives is food for you. I have given you all as the green plants. But do not eat flesh with its life, its blood, but only your blood of your lives I require from the hand of every beast. I require it, and from the hand of man, from the hand of every man's brother, I require the life of man. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man his blood is shed, for in the image of Elohim he has made man. As for you, bear fruit and increase, bring forth teemingly in the earth and increase in it. And Elohim spoke to Noah and his sons with him, saying, And I see, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, of the birds, of the cattle, of the beasts of the earth with you, of all that go out of the ark, every beast of the earth. And I shall establish my covenant with you, and never again is all flesh cut off by the waters of the flood, and never again is there a flood to destroy the earth. And Elohim said, This is a sign of the covenant which I make between me and you, and every living creature that is with you, for all the generations to come. I shall put my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be for a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. And it shall be, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the rainbow shall be seen in the cloud. And I shall remember my covenant which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and never again the waters become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the rainbow shall be in the cloud, and I shall see it, and remember the everlasting covenant between Elohim and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth. And Elohim said to Noah, This is the sign of the covenant which I have established between me and all the flesh that is on the earth. And the sons of Noah went out of the ark were Shem and Ham and Japheth. And Ham was father of Kenan. These 3 sons of Noah, and all the earth was overspread from them. And Noah, a man of the soil, began and planted a vineyard, and he drank of the wine, and was drunk, and became uncovered in his tent. And Ham, the father of Kenan, saw the nakedness of his father, and told his 2 brothers outside. So Shem and Japheth took a garment, laid it on both their shoulders, and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. But their faces were turned away, and they did not see their father's nakedness. And Noah awoke from his wine, and he knew that his younger son had done to him. And he said, Cursed is Kenan, let him become a servant of servants to his brothers. And he said, Barak be Yahweh, the Elohim of Shem, and let Kenan become his servant. Let Elohim enlarge Japheth, and let him dwell in the tents of Shem, and let Kenan become his servant. And Noah lived after the flood 350 years. So all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. And that's where I'm going to stop at. Next time I'll be reading more into Genesis. Thank you for listening.